Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, my friend.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so to all the people and to you as well, welcome to another episode of Bikeflip Talk, um, which is a series that we actually used to do back in the day, but we kind of neglected it a little bit. And yeah, so you reached out to us basically a while ago, and so that's how it happened. So
Yeah.
welcome.
Thanks a lot. Stoked to be here.
um, So to the people and also to myself, honestly, could you just real quick give a quick explanation of who you are, what you do, and yeah, basically that.
Yeah. Wow. How to summarize? I'm professional mountain biker, slopestyle mountain biker that have been riding bikes since I was about 12, I think. I'm 28 now, so that will be
Wow,
16 years. So quite a
that's
while.
yeah,
And
crazy.
yeah, I've been competing in the FMB World Tour for a lot of years. And when I'm not competing, I'm doing a lot of bike shows and like bike camps for the kids and the next generation, kind of.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, pretty much that.
Oh, that's amazing, man. I always enjoy to see people succeeding in the bike world.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing thing. Um, so you said you were 12 when you started riding.
Mm.
Do you still remember your first bike that you had? Because I mean, for me, like obviously, I'm like the social media guy here at Bikeflip, but I'm a rider myself, and I remember like when I started riding, my first bike was like a super shitty bike, but it still has like this legendary status. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
So do you remember
the
what
good
what,
old
what that
days.
was?
I think the first ever bike I had, I might be mixing them up, but the first one I think was an Extreme, like it was called Evil Extreme or something like that. And
Uh,
then the next one would be like a 17 kilogram UMF Hardy. Do you know that one?
oh my
Do you
god.
remember that?
I'm not exactly sure, but 17 kilos seems difficult to jump around on.
Yeah, and I even cracked that frame. It was like a steel frame that was like
For
thick
real?
as an aluminum frame would be today. It was
Yeah.
so heavy, and I was like, this, I could never break this frame. And I jumped like a trail, landed so sketchy, just like disaster case to jump, and like broke it in half.
Oh, no way.
So yeah.
That's crazy. So so you started riding when you were 12, right? But
Yeah.
when was the moment when I mean, this is kind of turning into an interview, but I'm just wondering. Um, so how old were you when you got into the like actually competing aspect of this whole thing?
So I'm gonna say I was 16. I'm gonna guess I was
Okay.
16. I think I was 16. And actually, the first event I went to was in Dirt Masters in Germany,
Hmm. Yeah.
which was like an amateur event. It was also like an FMB event down there, but I rode the amateur event and came second there. I think I only knew that it was like actually a competing sport, like from like a year before that or something, because I met some other riders in Stockholm, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I found out that it was even a sport that you can compete in and have sponsors and stuff. So
Yeah, it's crazy. But so you're 28 now, you said, right?
yeah, yeah.
So it's 12 years already. That's crazy.
But I've had some like quite a lot of breaks in between also from like competing.
Hmm.
I've been riding pretty much the whole time since I was 12, but I had like 2 or 3 years here and there, doing like a little bit of other stuff like music and also a bit of kite surfing and cross country skiing and stuff like that. But
Oh, that's
biking is
crazy. You're
like the
doing
one
music,
thing that
really?
I've sticked with throughout all the years. So yeah.
That's crazy. You're doing music. Like what? Like you're mixing or do you play an instrument or what?
I I don't really like do music, but I play like a lot of music at home. Like play the piano, like sing a little bit, play
Oh, that's
guitar.
nice. Yeah.
I did one song, but yeah,
Oh,
that's
for real?
it's for another story. Yeah,
That's for another day. Oh, that's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, piano is super beautiful. I've been playing piano for like 10 years now.
Really sick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like for me when I'm out riding or working or cutting a video or something, like just sitting down at the piano and then playing for a few minutes is just so relaxing.
Yeah.
It's something I really like to do.
It's kind of a contrast also, like if you're out riding, it's all this adrenaline, like you get like really hyped and all
Yeah,
energy
it's a
out
really
on the
big
trail.
contrast.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. And also I think it's like really important to have a few things in life that are also making you come away from this whole biking thing. I mean, I love riding bikes. You love it too, but
Yeah.
If it's the only thing that's going on all the time, it can be quite exhausting after a while, I think.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, for sure. Like you can never get like, you can for sure like override, definitely, especially if you do like ride really fast laps in a bike park, or if you do like let's say when you practice for like an FMB event and you do like this whole set trick list every session, you can't do that like too many times. You can only do like 1 or 2 repetitions of every trick. At least for me, that's the way. Otherwise, I like mentally get drained from.
Yeah, after a while, you just kind of get burnt out for the day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but so you mentioned in the beginning when we were talking that you were riding for like on a really high level. I'm pretty sure I saw that you were like riding a Crankworks and that kind of stuff. So to someone who is just like starting out, would you like recommend them to push to become someone like you, or to become like, oh my god, I don't find the words, but to reach a level where you can compete on, like seriously compete on that level, because it's like you're pretty much dedicating your whole life to this if you're competing on such a level, no?
Yeah. That totally depends on like how you are as a person, if you
Okay.
really like want to commit to something like that. And first of all, I haven't rode the Crankworks. I rode Silver Star last year, which is a Crankworks Summer Series event, but it's a gold level event. And then there's also like the like Joyride type of thing, which is only like the top 14 in the ranking. But I've been like competing with the top 30 for quite a few years in the ranking. But I would say, to answer your question, it's like if you really want to compete at that level, you need to be willing to kind of like
Sacrifice.
be uncomfortable and sacrifice a lot of time just for riding, and also like not have too many other projects simultaneously to like learning all these tricks and like your practice sessions, because then you can like mentally be too, I don't know, like spread out. I don't know if you can say it like that, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you kind of have to have like laser focus to be able to like maintain that type of trick level and also like progress from there.
Yeah. Yeah, which can be quite hard, I think, no? Like obviously it's all fun and all, but when you get to a certain point, it's just not the fun aspect anymore, but it's like actually having to go out and do it because you want to reach something, and it's not just because of the fun, of the sake of it.
Yeah, for sure. But you for sure like if you have the passion for it, the kind of like the grind and the uncomfortable sessions also becomes not fun, but like satisfying in a way.
Yeah. I mean, that's for me as well, and I think to everybody who is doing this kind of thing, it's just the balance, or trying to find the balance between having fun and still like proceeding on a regular pace. But yeah, so before you mentioned that you were like doing a lot of breaks in between, like you have been riding for all the time, but there were like times where you weren't not riding, if I understood that correctly.
Yeah, so I've been doing like a lot of different type of things. I think I have a kind of high need in like variety in my life, I would say. So I've been doing like the most recent years, I've been doing like a lot of cross country skiing, for instance, and also like the music part. Mostly, I actually started playing music because of injuries, because I couldn't do much else. So I was like, one broken bone, 2 more songs to learn, and that way it kind of was, you know. Man. And yeah, so I did that, and also I've been to Hawaii actually a couple of times, like working with charity organizations and doing some surfing and so it's been all over the place. Kind of, yeah.
So you were injured quite a few times, if I saw that right on your Instagram. Like the first post that you see is like you having like a neck brace on and laying like in a bed, or what is that? What happened there?
That's actually exactly 8 weeks ago. From like today, it's 8 weeks ago.
Oh, no way.
I was in the Czech Republic at an event called Iron Town, which is an F&B silver event. And in the practice, everything went pretty well. And I was like lining up my run kind of, and I did a cash roll, like a front flip 360 for those who don't know, at the end of the practice session, and kind of like flew over my bars and actually broke my back in 2 places.
So that sucks.
T9 and T10, I think it's called, like 2 vertebrae, and yeah. So that was gnarly, but I'm all good though. Like all the ligaments and everything were like intact, so like the spine was protected well. So it's just like a collarbone break or anything else. Like recovery wise,
it was nothing too serious.
Still scary though.
Then.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah.
Because like,
did you have a lot of injuries, or what type of riding do you do?
For me, I've torn a few ligaments in my foot, and then the hardest injury that I'd say that I had was a broken heel.
Ooh,
yeah, that was nice. I tried to do like a trick of a 2-meter high wall, and then my front wheel kind of, I'm not really sure how to explain, but it kind of got stuck on the top of the wall, and I got like sent straight to my back. And I tried to kind of compensate the flying part with my foot, and then I just straight up stomped into the ground, and then it all happened so fast. But I think that was like 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
So all good, but I can still feel it to this day.
Really? Is it because it's a lot of nerves in the heel, I guess, like going up?
Yeah, especially around it. It's like the doctor actually said that it's one of the most complicated injuries that he had to make a surgery on.
Wow.
Which kind of left me shook at first, but he's like a professional when it comes to like sports injuries, basically sports injuries specifically on the foot. So I was really fortunate to have a good guy who knows what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I can still feel it to this day. It's not really that bad, but when I'm riding for a full day, I can still feel it in the evening. So
I guess
it is what it is.
Swollen, or is this like still?
It's not really swollen, but it's I can just feel every step basically.
Yeah.
It's not too bad though. I mean, I can still ride, I can still walk, I can run, I can pretty much do anything. But yeah, it just I couldn't, like, that's the only thing that kind of sucks. If I'm going out for like a few days of riding, then after a while it gets kind of tough, because in the first 2 days it's all right, but if it's longer, then I'm gonna have to stop for like half a day or a day, because it's just not working anymore. Yeah, I'm just hoping that when I get older, it's like not like too bad, you know.
Yeah. I guess like all of us riders kind of need to we kind of need to like maintain our bodies throughout life. I would say.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's pretty much the making sure of that we have an income, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And doing the stretching and the cold plunges and whatever makes the body work, kind of.
Yeah, true. So one thing that I always like say to my friends, or when we're out riding, like, do your stretches, do your like do the exercise when you before you start riding, or when you stop riding, to do like this, and like, you know, like these exercises, because most of them are like a little bit younger than I am, and they don't really understand the necessary, like, how important it is, because they're just young, and they can go for hours without really doing anything. But yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
22. Okay.
22.
Still young though. I'm 28, man.
Yeah, I'm fortunate, but I still have 6 years till I'm there where you are now. So
you have time.
I'm hoping that I'm gonna survive till then.
Yeah, you will. You have a good mindset already. Better than I had at 22, to be honest.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I think I was like 20. Maybe when I was 24, I actually like started thinking about longevity, like body wise and like physically. I'm like, maybe I've hit my body quite a few times, so I need to like maintain my body also for like the future Elof when I'm
Yeah.
40, 50, 60, to have like a nice life then and to like feel good body
Feel
wise,
alright.
because it affects everything. If you have pain in your body, it's like whatever you do, it kind of disturbs. So
Yeah, that's true.
it's all good now though. I had quite a few injuries, but with stretching and like eating kind of good and just cold plunges and stuff, it really helps, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also noticed, like, for me, I'm gonna have to like actually take it more serious than I'm already doing, because I can kind of feel like the evolution of my, or I can feel my body age, which is like kind of weird, because like 2 years ago when I was 20, like till I was 20, I pretty much didn't feel anything. I was just a guy riding bikes every day. Like there was nothing holding me back, basically. And then when you get to your 20s, you kind of feel like your body is slowly and slowly like starting to hurt, and something is feeling a little bit weird.
Yeah.
And then more things start to feel weird, and it's always getting more and more. And then you kind of start thinking like, I might have to do some exercise.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
have you done like a lot of besides riding? Have you done like a lot of other type of sports, like going to the gym or like
Actually,
yoga or something like that?
I would. That's funny that you say, because I actually started to go to the gym this month.
Yeah. Sick.
Yeah, because that's something that I wanted to do for quite a while, and I was always not really sure if I'm gonna do it. You know, it's like a struggle to go there and to do it and then get home again. But like the thing that holds me most back as of now is like actually getting it into the routine, because I think once you have it in the routine, it's not that big of a deal anymore, because you just kind of do it.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
breakfast. If you take like 3 or 4 set days where you do it every week, you kind of get it in there after a while. It doesn't like
Yeah.
feel like you mentally have to push yourself to even go after a while, I would say. Because we're like habit, we're so based in habit, in my experience. Like whatever you do over an extended period of time doesn't really feel like a push anymore, kind of.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, just as I said, getting it into the routine is key.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, one thing I wanted to ask you, you were talking about FMB silver, or can you explain this like ranking to me? Because like I'm a trials rider, I have nothing to do with this kind of stuff. So, but I'm actually kind of interested, but I have no clue how this works.
Yeah. So basically, the FMB World Tour is the free ride mountain bike World Tour, and it's divided into like 4 categories, which is bronze events, silver events, gold events, and then diamond events, which is like the Crankwork series. And depending on what ranking you have in like the overall, which is based in your top 3 results within like 1 year, depends on what ranking you have there, you can ride a certain level of event. So for instance, like the top 30 top 30 in the world can ride gold level events. Like all of them are invited to gold level. And the top 14 is Crankworks, and then I don't know for silver events actually the regulations, but yeah, then it goes back like that. So yeah.
Okay, so basically, the higher you are in the world ranking, you get invited to higher events. Let's say like that. Oh, okay.
It's like different leagues almost.
Yeah.
First you play in a little league, and then you qualify for the bigger and bigger.
And FMB stands for what?
Free ride mountain bike. So it's FMB World Tour. Free ride mountain bike World Tour.
Free ride mountain bike world tour. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, because I was always like thinking to myself what that means, but I never knew. But now I know.
Now you know.
Great. Now I know.
We learn something every day.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So one more thing that I wanted to know: when you started riding when you were 12,
Yeah.
were your parents like supportive in that kind of way? Because when I remember when I started, they were like kind of like he's gonna hurt himself, and they were not too stoked about it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna say it's been like a roller coaster with that. In the beginning, it was like still they didn't like realize the risk as much in the very start. I would say because I didn't do like gnarly stuff in the beginning, just like jumped on a like small wood dirt pile, whatever. Like didn't even barely get airborne, pretty much. But after a while, when I started, like when I had my first rib fracture or something, or just like small injury somewhere, they would be like, maybe this is not the best idea to keep doing. And then actually I had like a compression in my spine when I was 15 or something, between two discs. They like compressed a little bit, no fracture, but just like a little compression. And I had to be out for quite a while just to make sure it wasn't hurt badly. And then my mom, I remember my mom was like, she moved away my bike and locked it in somewhere and didn't tell me where. And I was like, I'm not like, I'm going to be depressed if I can't ride my bike. So I was like,
no way.
You need to let me have my bike. All my friends are riding bikes, and yeah, I don't want to play soccer or do other stuff. So.
Oh, that's crazy.
She gave me my bike back. But actually to this day, it's still been... That would be a good
catchphrase, actually.
Obviously now it was a pretty gnarly crash just 2 months ago with the spine. And to this day they are like, do you really want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, it's still my passion. And yeah, you never know, like you can kind of switch formats on how you do it. I would say there's like a million ways to ride a bike and to enjoy riding in general. I would say it's not only like pushing yourself to the extremes of like competing at the highest level. You don't need to do that to kind of enjoy a bike ride. You can also like I don't know, jump on a free ride bike, just jump a stair set on the streets, or I don't know, just jump a trail and do some whips. Like whatever is good for you.
True. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't always have to be like the big stuff.
No, for sure not. Although like a lot of us look up to that, kind of like the gnarliest jumps, the coolest tricks. Like everyone, like there's a lot of guys who aspire to be that and identify with being extreme people, because it's still like an extreme sport. Doing bike stuff, I would say.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Yeah, it's a hard balance between like passion and being overcommitted sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. So you're 28 now. Do you still see yourself like in 5 years or in 10 years doing the same thing that you're doing now?
In 5 or 10 years, I'm seeing myself kind of being more of an ambassador for the sport. I'd say I actually have a bike show company right now. We actually did a bike show today in a big race called Vasaloppet, which is like the biggest.
Oh, no way.
They have like 3 different races in the year on skis and bike and running. But we do like bike shows all over the country now, and just like promoting the kind of like the dirt jump and slopestyle scene in that way. And
that's great.
Yeah, so that's pretty sick actually. So I see myself being more of an ambassador for the sport, I think, in just a few years' time, and like continuously growing towards that. Probably not competing then, to be honest.
Yeah, and just getting more people into the scene, basically.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, that's always great. I mean, for myself, like seeing that people get inspired by me or by what I do is like one of the most pleasant or one of the most beautiful things. Yeah. So like, for sure. Yeah, being able to inspire kids and people, and yeah, that's for sure one of the most beautiful things in what we do, I'd say. Yeah, that's kind of more rewarding than even like accomplishing something new yourself in a lot of ways, I would say, for me personally. For sure. But do you said you rode trial bikes? Like with I'm a trials rider, yeah, mostly, yeah. Yeah. Did you compete in that or? No. I'm not a competition trials rider. Yeah. I do like street trials. I'm not sure if you know what that is, but like Danny McCaskill, Fabio Wibmer, like doing like not similar stuff, like obviously, but that kind of thing. That's sick. That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. I've been doing that for a little bit over 5 years now already. Yeah,
Sick.
which
How,
is
how did you find
obviously
out about it?
nothing.
Was it YouTube or was it like?
Sorry.
How did you find out about it? Like bike riding in the beginning. Or how did you get into it?
Well, actually, a friend back in 2009 showed me a super legendary video by Danny McCaskill.
Yeah.
Basically, his breakthrough video, I'd say, that he did with inspired bicycles back then. And that kind of went through the roof on YouTube, like everyone saw it. And then a friend showed that to me. But in 2009, I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember already back then wanting to have like a trials bike and telling my parents that I want to have something similar.
Yeah.
But obviously, you're not going to give an 8-year-old such an expensive bike.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So
unless he was sure that this is what he was going to do.
Yeah. So that was the first time I ever heard about trials. And then in 2018, in April, I just came across a video on YouTube, and then it caught me again. And then about like a month later, I bought it. I bought my first bike. So that's kind of how I got into it.
And then it was only bikes from there, or did you have anything else besides that you were doing?
I mean, before I started riding bikes, I actually already made videos on YouTube. But back then, I made like gaming videos on Minecraft, and like I was commentating while I was playing.
Yeah.
And the good thing about that is that I already made like a few experiences with graphic design and video editing and that kind of stuff. So it was really good that I kind of had this knowledge of how to create content online. And then I found out about bikes, and then I basically combined the two. So that's how I kind of got into into what I'm doing now.
Sick.
And I've been doing it ever since. So I'm fully in love with what I do.
Awesome.
Which is, I'm really fortunate to be able to do what I love. And I mean, like Bikeflip for me, I mean, I reached out to them. I think it was the end of 2022 when I reached out to them first.
Yeah.
And I actually like reached out to Andrea Maranelli because of a collab, because I was like, I saw these Bikeflip helmets and I was like fully, fuck, this looks so good, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to do something with them. And of course I knew Fabio from a little bit earlier the year.
Yeah.
And then we kind of just started talking, and then that's how it happened.
Did you ride together with was it Fabio you knew first and you rode with him on like some videos
no,
and stuff,
because Fabio was looking for someone in his team for his what's his latest video? The video game.
Yeah.
The GTA style video. He was looking for a drone pilot for that video.
Okay.
And then he did like a YouTube video, I think, where where he said like, "Hey, I'm looking for someone," and then I made a video for him, and then he invited 2 people, and one of them was me, and then we just kind of spent time together there. And in the end, they picked the other guy because I was still in military back then, and I hadn't had time, and they needed someone, and the other guy, Max, his name. He already knew how to fly drones, which was like a big thing that they were looking for. So, they picked him. But I mean, I'm super happy how it happened now, because like what I'm doing right now is basically what I've already done, because I'm riding bikes and I'm working for a company which is biking related, which is Bikeflip Marketplace, obviously.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm honestly in a super cool like position right now, because I really get to like make connections, ride my bike, and work for a company that I actually believe in, you know?
Yeah. That's so sick. Like to combine.
Yeah, I'm really stoked. Super stoked.
That's so sick. And also like the bike industry, like the biking world is like, it's massive, but it's not like that massive. You can kind of like connect with people from all different levels and all different fields in the biking industry, just by being in it for a little while, kind of. And that's it's cool. Yeah,
it's really cool, especially if you go to like events and see people, and it's definitely really cool. One thing though, I wanted to ask you, you've been talking about this show that you're doing. Like, how do I have to imagine that? Do you have like a setup that you take from place to place, or how does that work?
Yeah, you would. I think you would laugh if you saw what I was traveling around with. It's actually like a, it's a very small trailer that I have, and
Mhm.
then it's only like an airbag. It's an airbag, that I put on a trailer, and then I tilt a kicker upside down on top of it and just strap it down. No starting tower, nothing. Just like,
No way.
I just like when I talk to the events and like sell the show, I just like say we need a flat surface, it needs to be this dimensions, and then we just pedal speed for it. So it's like super
Yeah.
easy setup, but it's like people never see this stuff, like especially in Sweden. Like there's not many shows. There's like two guys who does like FMX shows, but other than that there's no extreme sport kind of shows that goes around in like festivals and events and stuff like that. So
Mm.
yeah, it's super rad to be able to do it. But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
send you a picture of the trailer later
yeah.
because
Please,
it looks
please do, please do
ridiculous
so.
that it's like a
I'm
full
really
show
curious.
setup. Yeah.
Uh, that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, like spreading the sport is one of the most important things
Mm.
because that way we get people into the scene from which we kind of like profit as well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's basically all about getting people into the scene. Oh,
Yeah, and what I think is cool also with spreading the word out more with just like biking in general is that if I did any type of education, I only did like what is it called, gymnasium, like high school kind of, depending on
Mhm.
what terms you're talking, and no like college. I didn't do like college and stuff like that, but I would say that I've learned like 92% of what I know about myself and about the world, like through being an athlete and through being a bike
Mhm.
rider, because
Yeah.
everything is so like, either if you have the wrong mindset, you get hurt, or if you have the right mindset, you like get this like super euphoric feeling of like landing a new trick or like pushing the limits that you thought like of what you thought was possible. And yeah, just like basic foundational things that you can pick up through biking. I think it's super nice to spread the scene just for that reason, to be honest, like that people can like experience the same thing of
For
mentally
sure.
growing through being like through just riding, as simple as it is.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah. Sorry, I just have a blackout.
Yeah.
No, but that's definitely true. That's for sure. And I mean also like the adrenaline that you get when you like working some towards something for a long time and then you finally manage to do it and through that motivate other people is like yeah, it's a crazy feeling.
Yeah,
And I mean,
it
I
is.
I'm not sure how it is for you, but I definitely learned like dedication, for example, through riding bikes. I learned how to talk to people. I mean, I was when I was a kid, I was a super awkward weirdo, and now I mean, back then I could not imagine sitting here and and talking to a stranger and having a conversation. That was like something that was just strictly not happening, you know.
Yeah.
But since I'm like riding bikes, I feel like I fully like transformed my personality, which is actually also fully crazy to think about.
Yeah, but isn't it weird that like you don't actually have to do it consciously, like with biking, because it kind of like happens um
Yeah, it
like
just happened.
of itself in a lot of, yeah, because like you imagine a trick and you kind of know that you have to push through fear to be able to do what you imagine.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it just like, and then you go to like a new spot and there's new people there that you haven't met before, and you kind of just like, yeah, we have the same passion, so we're going to talk to each other here. And then like everything
Yeah.
comes with it. It's like a whole package of just, I don't know, treats you want to have as a person, like that will
Mhm.
benefit you in life in general, I would
Yeah,
say.
for sure. Yeah, it's not only about riding bikes, it's also about like building yourself as a human, I'd say, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure if that's the right word to say, but you know what I mean.
for sure. Like I agree with like, I definitely know it by like just like by experience. For instance, like today, me and a buddy is thinking about doing like a pretty gnarly project in the beginning of next year. I'm not going to spoil too much about that, but we're looking for like sponsors and like collab partners for that project. And then we had to like approach people at the event that we were at now and just like talk to them about I don't know, just getting sponsored with this type of project that we want to do. And stuff like that would be so unnatural for me, because sometimes like you go up to a random person and like try to sell a project or pitch yourself and they have no idea who you are. And I know the feeling from bike riding that like, oh, I'm a little bit uncomfortable now, but I know that on the other side of this fear is like a real like reward or rewarding feeling of pushing through it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so that's cool.
So you still kind of do it because you know what it could bring.
Yeah, and it's worth the risk of being embarrassed, or because you can only get embarrassed, but if you're riding a bike, you can actually get hurt. If, you know what I mean? Or you can get a super good reward of like pushing through it. So
yeah. I mean, it's a big risk, but if it works out, it's also a big reward. So
yeah,
that's actually another thing also that biking taught at least me. Like taking a risk is like, for sure, it's better to take the risk than not taking it, and then afterwards regretting that you didn't take it.
Yeah.
So
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually crazy how much things happen in the last years.
Yeah. So what happened? Because you said you were in the military, and then was that after school? You were in the military, and then
No, I actually made an apprenticeship as a waiter in a restaurant. I worked in the service. I was carrying out plates and stuff.
Yeah.
For 3 years, and then after that, during that time, I kind of saved up a little bit of money, and with a little bit of help of my parents, I could do a full year of basically just riding bikes and creating videos, which was super fortunate.
Yeah.
And in that time, I kind of tried to build up my own clothing brand after, which I kind of realized afterwards that it didn't make really sense because nobody was interested in like the clothes and stuff. But it was like an interesting experience. So now that I think back about it, I think I did the year of that, and then I went into military for a year. But I didn't go into military I'm not sure how it is in Sweden, but in Switzerland you can go to the military, or you go to here it's called Zivildienst. So you go to you can go to like where old people stay. I'm not sure. Altersheim. You know that? Like it's like
I'm not sure.
A place for old people who can't like live by themselves anymore.
Oh yeah. I know. Ålderdomshem in Swedish.
Yeah, exactly. You can go to that kind of place, or you can go to a school or to a kindergarten or whatever, and then basically help out there instead of military. And I did that in a school for a year. Yeah. And I've been there for. I think I ended that in October last year.
Okay, sick.
Basically, and then October, November, December, and then in January, then in January I started working at Bikeflip.
Yeah. That's a fast trip from like.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, yeah, it kind of happened, man. It just kind of happened.
Stoked. I'm happy for you. That's awesome.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. So we've been talking for 40 minutes, man. That's crazy. One last thing I would like to ask you, to someone who is looking up to you, or to someone who is just starting out riding and dreaming about being a professional athlete like you are, what would you tell them? Do you have any advice to kids or to younger people?
If the dream is to become a professional and just like primarily work with riding bikes, I would say that you don't need to be like one of the best in the world at it. You can do so many things that has to do with bike riding. like for instance, like what I do now, I do like bike camps, bike shows, and stuff like that. But the most important thing is that you have like a genuine passion for it, because otherwise, when you start doing like stuff that is work, that sometimes like also feels like work and not only like play, then you will like lose your interest in doing that kind of. I find it easy. I've seen like a lot of people who like try to make a living out of biking or like turn pro, that loses the fun of it because they see it so much as work and not as much as a passion anymore. So make sure you're passionate about it, and if you have passion, the rest will kind of sort itself out. Yeah.
Oh man, that's some really nice words right there.
Yeah, hopefully.
To end this stream. I mean, to the people who are watching this on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify or watching us right now, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself via Bikeflip or to Elof directly.
Yeah.
Also, feel free to check out Elof on Instagram and on all the socials. And if there are enough questions from people, we might do an episode 2 if you're down.
Definitely, for sure. Anytime.
So yeah, I think that's a nice ending right there. We've been talking for 42 minutes. That's one of the longest Bikeflip talks, I think.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was good talking to you. And
that's crazy.
Interesting to go into it. Yeah.
Thank you guys very much, and thank you, Elof, for taking the time.
Thank you. Have a good one, everyone.
Have a nice one. Cheers.
Peace.